everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's me, Tashi. So good morning. For me it's morning because it's like 11 a.m. New York City time. So good morning, good evening, and good night. I don't know if you ever seen a Truman Show, one of my favorite movies. Anyway, so I'm drinking some tea this morning. This is regular Lipton tea, decaf of course, because I don't like anything caffeinated. Like, I hate caffeine. So soda, anything that has that in it, or coffee, I'm not touching. I think coffee is disgusting. It stinks. It makes my stomach like hurt when I smell it. It makes me instantly nauseous. So I am a tea connoisseur. I feel like I have every tea imaginable, from hibiscus to chamomile. I just feel like it's endless. And if you hear any kind of whining, I promise you my cat is not in any kind of position where he's dying. My cat Kobe is in his cage because he has pica, and he keeps eating everything that he shouldn't be eating, and he's choking on it. So I had to lock him up till he get himself together, and he's only been in there for 30 minutes. He is fine. But anyway, I'm a tea connoisseur. I drink all kinds of tea. I actually measure my steeping time. Sometimes I do the loose leaf teas. I just feel like tea is life. Tea also comes caffeinated or decaf, but I prefer decaf all the time. It's the best. But I guess today's video is gonna be a story time, and it's basically about soulmates too, because I keep hearing this term soulmate all the time, and I question it. What is a soulmate? Does soulmates really exist? But then you see stories of people who met when they were 18 and they died married in their 90s, and I'm like, that sounds like a soulmate. But it also sounds very depressing to be with someone at 18 and get married and then be with them up until the day you're dying when you're like 90, and never have an experience other partners, other relationships, other type of chemistry among other people outside of your husband or your wife. Very weird. Anyway, I'm going too deep. So anyway, so I was saying how in New York City you have all these amazing moments. I don't know if these moments exist in LA, but in New York City you come across really amazing people, and I have come across some really amazing people, and I don't know, it sounds like they would be a soulmate, but clearly they weren't, because it never went anywhere. So once upon a time, and I would say Broadway and 48th Street, Broadway 48th. Okay, let's just say Midtown Times Square area. So I come across this guy who's pretty drunk, and my friend somehow found him appealing. And truth be told, he was pretty cool, besides the fact he seemed somewhat intoxicated. If I'm not mistaken, he was from the Bronx, and they actually hit it off. They weren't soulmates, but they hit it off, right? They was kicking it the whole night, right? So, and let me just remind you, this day started off because me and her and I had nothing to do. We wanted to go out, go get a drink, go get some food. I think we might have got paid that week. So we just wanted to do something for ourselves, just to get out the house this particular evening. And it was one of those evenings where nothing was really planned. It was more so, let's meet here and see where the night progresses, like where it goes. Because in New York City, your nights end very, very funny compared to how they started. But that's the energy in New York. People just go with the flow. So anyway, they hit it off really fine. And then he has a friend. Okay, so now the friend is very cool. He was older than me. I remember him being older than me for sure. And I remember him saying his age, and I'm just like, what? Like, no way, you can't be that old, whatever. And he was from the Bronx. Super nice. And I'm not gonna say his name, but him, well, see, now this is saying his name without saying his name. I remember his name very well because I have a family member that has the same exact name. So we had so much fun. Like, we literally had so much fun that night. I just remember us going, like, doing a lot of walking, a lot of talking, and just all four of us, like, we're really getting to know each other. And then I remember how it just was like this instant chemistry. It didn't seem forced. It didn't seem like I had to be a certain kind of way or he had to be a certain kind of way. It didn't seem like my friend had to be a certain kind of way or his friend had to be a certain kind of way, because homeboy was literally tipsy. But we gelled so well that night, and I remember we just hung out the entire night. And I remember like getting home incredibly late, almost morning time, and that particular night I remember just eating random stuff throughout the night while we're talking to these guys. I remember getting a pretzel, I remember eating a hot dog, I remember going to McDonald's for fries. I just remember all these things that were happening. And then afterwards, this guy and I, we did keep in touch for a little while. And I think that him and I, we just really gelled so well. And a part of me, if I can go back in time, I think I would have maybe pushed it more just to see where it would have went, because we genuinely got along really well. We would talk on the phone here and there, and there were times I think we were supposed to like link up or something, but we never did for some reason. But years later, we're friends on Instagram, and he doesn't even live in New York anymore. But but yeah, we haven't spoke on the phone, but we do like each other's pictures or whatever. But it's like the way that story was, it almost seems like a story that a person tells about a soulmate. Oh my goodness, this phone. About a soulmate. But again, I don't know if he was my soulmate. We never even bothered to see where that would have went. But it was really an amazing New York City night. And I say it's amazing because the weather was good. I felt good. I didn't have no migraines. My leg wasn't hurting. I didn't have on some heels and my foot was hurting. Nothing. It was so chill, so laid back. It was really, really fun. It was one of those nights where it was like effortless. Like, it just was smooth sailing, no drama, no nothing. And I always love a night like that. And anyway, so that's just, I don't really think this counts as story time. This is more like an amazing New York City night and questioning if you ever met your soulmate and just didn't know that was your soulmate. I don't know if he was my soulmate because we didn't speak anymore. Well, we did, but I mean, like, not like you would think we would talk or see each other living in the same city. I think that night was supposed to be that night, and that was it. But it was memorable, which is really great. Like, I hope, like, as I get older, I never forget that story. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. And my friend, she kept in touch with the guy. I think they might have hung out a few more times after that. They act like they were in love or lust. It was a good vibe for them too. Anyway, you guys, I have on no makeup. I'm looking at this, my reflection. I have on no makeup. This is very raw and uncut because I normally never want to go on camera. Who keeps texting me? I never like to go on camera without makeup, but this time around I was like, YOLO. I think I'm too old to say YOLO, right? Yeah, I think that's too much of an old saying. But anyway,